Hey Cookies, are you trying to get into the new Cookierun Braverse TCG, but your wallet is still crying from all the gems you wasted on your current banner, only to pull Gingerbrave for the 5 millionth time? Or maybe you're still on that never-ending quest to find those singles. Maybe you're a new cookie in the Cookierun universe and this is your gateway into the franchise, which, if that's the case, welcome to your new life and your future favorite fandom. Today I'm here to help with what I call Zake's super duper ultra budget, but still kinda good deck list. The rules are very simple. We only have 2 of them, and that's that this deck can only contain what you could find in 2 starter decks for that color, and any cards from the set that are commons, uncommons, and rares. This is because a new player or somebody getting into there or couldn't find singles won't have these SR or URs. This is what I imagine somebody would do when they're getting into the game. They would only buy 2 of a starter, and then they would go from there, being able to trade others at the store that might have extras or so on. There's also the second rule of no promos or exclusive cards. We're imagining this as somebody who just started the game a week ago and had no idea what they were doing, and this is a good way to get a consistent deck and the most amount. Now I know you might not have a full play set of rares, so I will recommend some options at the end of the deck list to replace if you don't. Obviously these aren't going to be as good because it's going to be the most basic of the basic, but it gives you an option if you're still looking. So we're going to head on into our red budget deck. So to start, we have our 4 carrots and our 4 popcorns. These are our +1 HPs that we run. We only run 8 because I feel like that's a good number. I wouldn't recommend running any less than that. And having level 1s in a red deck for your triggers are really important in case you have to start with it. If you start with a 3 or something like that, you're way too far behind when they kill it because red doesn't have the traps, as well as having 8 +1 HPs kind of makes up for the fact that we only have 1 trap. So for our draws, we run 4 of the adventure and 3 muscles. The reason why we do that is same thing. We want level 1, level 2s. We don't want any level 3 triggers besides 1. And it's just kind of nice to have an even ratio. I was trying as many draws as I could, but then I realized I was just getting out aggroed. So this kind of helps in. And to end it, we have 1 of our Kumios. I was iffy about this card, and then after tournament twice in a row, it worked. Being able to discard a card that selects one of your opponent's cookies and steal a damage is really good sometimes, due to the fact that this deck has a lot of 4s it swings for, and 5 is our magic number. As well as running 1, the odds of seeing it late game are way higher, and you're not going to hit it. I've seen some people run more than 1, but the issue is if you hit it too early, it doesn't really do too much. It's more of a, like it'll surprise your opponent's play. And then as well as you already don't have hand. In fact, a lot of the times, especially against purple, you have the issue of like possibly running out of cookies. So you can't really afford to run more than that, but that's kind of what it was. If you want, you could run 8 draw if you don't like it, but I would say just test it out and see what happens with it. So we're gonna move on to our 1s. We're gonna run a 4 melon bun, self-explanatory. These cards got banned in Korea and 1 of in C. So we're probably gonna get that soon. But for now, they're too good not to run. Just vanilla, swing for 2, not too much to them. We're going to go into our 2s because that's the only one. I was running Affogato, the level 1, but the only issue with it is, in my mind, it only works if you're running the Wildberry, which I have the full deck completed, but this is more the budget one. Wildberry is nice because your opponent will keep you at 8, so it works, but we're not running it right now. If you do get Wildberries, I do recommend running Affogatos. But for now, we only have 4 level 1s. We're gonna move into our 2s. We have our 4 cherry cookies. I feel like a lot of decks run these cards. Everyone knows why. It is just to counter these, but I feel like it's best in red due to the fact that you can't lose steam. You have to just aggro, aggro, aggro. There's no defensiveness in it. So if your opponent slaps down the level 1 with 4 HP, it could just literally ruin everything. I mean, the fact that you would have to use an entire Rebel Cookies like combo just to get through it. These are an easy solution. If they die too, 2 is a really good number just to the fact that Espresso needs to be at 6, so it lets you hit that number easier. In fact, by having all your 2s die, it kind of lets you control it. Next, we're gonna move on to 4 of our pomegranate cookie. Pomegranate's really good. I think 2 with 5 HP alone is just a good stat, even with their attack, but having the other skill of just being able to tap 1 that gives something power is a lot better than it sounds. There's so many games where, again, this deck likes to swing for 4s or like these weird numbers and you need to hit that magic number. So by able to just tap 1 to make one of your cookies kill something is good. And because it's such a low cost, you can tap 1, kill something, and this will have enough for like a burn spell later on. So yeah, 4 pomegranates I would recommend. I honestly wouldn't change that ratio. So now we have our 4 rebel cookies. This card is pretty banned, and the other formats are restricted. And the more I play in tournament, the more I realize why. Being able to just, if you have 5 mana, like if you're on your 5 support turn, you can just slap your rebel down, burn something for 2, and then swing for 3. So this literally, I mean, people run the +1 heals, so the odds of them hitting them are high with doing 5 at once. But if they don't, like this literally can like kill a timekeeper and other like key 3s just because it hits that magic number of 5. Way too good. In fact, I would say this is probably the best card in the deck, better than you know, Dark Choco and Wildberry and stuff. So 4, if you're in kind of a situation where you have to pick what rares you can get, or you don't have enough money, or you're trying to trade, get these first. They're insane, honestly. In fact, like the fact that it's not banned yet is kind of nice, but I guess we also don't have Tropical Slushy being banned yet, so we'll see. I didn't like this card at first, and then I realized how wrong it was. This is Molossus. It's actually just insane because in my mind I was like, okay, it's a 2/2 that swings for high, like it's pretty good, but it just, red has the issue of not having traps, so I was worried about dying too fast. But I do love this card now. In fact, if you go first and you start with this and you flip it, you're so far in the game so early, because on turn 2 you get to attack for 3. Most people are going to start with a level 1, so that's, you got to kill them, even though they have the 4 HP level 1, which, you know, they do. It's a little annoying. A lot of people don't like to play those first, so they like to wait. You leave it with 1, and then you're playing red, so like the odds of just burning it for like to kill it is too high. Definitely run this as a 4 of. In fact, it's so good that the other cookie we run is 3 of our devil cookies, and the reason we run devil cookie is because it's literally just Molossus. The only thing I don't like about it is it doesn't have obviously the burn skill that this one has, but to be fair, the odds of getting this burn skill off are I mean, the only, like, if your opponent starts with a 1 damage card potentially, but they're not gonna swing into it, you know, they're like smart enough not to, because they could just, you know, lose even faster. But Devil Cookie, same kind of thing, same reason why. In fact, there's an item we run later that works with Devil Cookie as well that we'll get into. But yeah, I've run 3 Devil Cookie. In fact, if you don't have a Rebel, I'd just bump it up to 4. So now we're gonna go into our 3s. A lot of people don't run this card because they like, especially in like the big built decks, they'll run Espresso and Wildberry. But this card is just insane. I know it's just a vanilla, and it's like, oh, Zake, it's just a vanilla, but it's such a good on curve. Like, I can't explain it unless you play it, but just being able to like play it down and on your 3 support turn, usually because by then, like, one of your guys will be dead, especially like your Devil Cookie will get knocked out, and then now you have it. So not only are you just swinging with these level 2s so fast, now you just have a swing for 3 for such a low cost. So just smacking this down, and it's so hard for your opponent to remove it early game because they have to like get to like 5 or 6 support that actually have like a combo for it. And even then, I mean, by then you might have a swamp in your hand. It is such a pressured card, and it's funny because it's just a vanilla, but it's also set 1 of the game, so it works. But yeah, that's why we run 3. I promise you to try this card out. You're sleeping on it if you're not. In fact, in my main deck that I have with all my wild berries and stuff, I run this as a 2 of with 1 espresso, just because that on curve is so good. Now we're gonna go into espresso. We run 3 of it. I know this is a trial deck, so you think you would have 4. The fact that it has to be 6 or higher is annoying because it doesn't work. In fact, that's why I honestly think this is like the better card out of the trial deck, because this is just good always. But having that 4 is really nice. And then earlier when I was talking about good combos with it, we talked about how we had our pomegranate. So there's been games with this where you could play pomegranate and just tap it for 1, and then for 4 you're swinging for 5, which is pretty much the death number in this game. And then again, you just have so many ways to burn if they end up like getting a heal sack on you. But espresso is good. I honestly, if you want, you could run as a 2 of and run 4 of this. I just kind of like to have the even ratio because like I have this bad luck where if I don't run it as a 4, I'll just never see it. I don't know why, but then for some reason when I run as a 3, I see all of them. But I mean, worst comes to worst, you just charge it, right? Like that's the cool thing about this game. But yeah, definitely run the espresso as a 3 of. It is the finisher because you don't have Wildberry. It's the best way you have to finish the game. And now we're running 1 of the Strawberry Crepe. I only want to run 1. You don't want to run more, just because this kind of like counters a lot of things. So like if your opponent has the level 1 with the 4 HP, if you just smack this down, you can burn it. And then because it burns for 2 and red has this really loving ability of burning for 1s and 2s, you could like play this and then a rebel or something and then just kill their 4s. My big reason I like it is if they have a blocker on board, you could play it. It's only 1 to do 2 to it, so it only has 1 HP left, and then like you could literally just play, you know, some sort of trigger. Like if you're going for game, or whatever, you could just play carrot and swing, and then you get it. But I would just run as 1. I wouldn't run as any more because you kind of want to hold it all game just for that like key moment against blockers. But also just swinging for 4 is not bad. In fact, it's just like a guaranteed espresso, I guess. I mean, it's 1 more, but it's not too bad. But I would just run as a 1 of. We're gonna go into our items now. We have 4 of our cherry bombs. Probably the best item in red. I want to think so. There's so many games where I have too many. If you actually don't have 4 of these, I would say like even 3 is fine. Just because there's so many games where like I played cherry bomb and then just discard another cherry bomb because like you'll ever want to do it once or twice. And you'll see is red just has a hand issue. So if you're like, I can't get my 4, I would just try it at 3 and then you should be good from that. But next we're gonna move on to our gloves. Gloves is insane. Luckily enough, it's an uncommon, which is crazy because I thought it would be a rare. This is super good. You just do 2 damage for 2 and then you burn yourself for 2. The reason I like this too, and there's a lot of good combos with it, and it goes back into why I like Peppercino, is like if you have a Peppercino on board and they're spinning a turn just trying to remove it and whatever, and you get it to 1 or 2 HP, it's done its job, right? Like on your go turn, you just swing for 3 to do a big number, and then you do that to just remove a boss. Yes, you're adding a 3 to your own damage, which like isn't the best, but you're red. I mean, if you damage yourself, it's bad, but if you end your opponent before you end yourself, isn't that just, better? So yeah, I recommend 3 of the gloves. There's just a lot of good stuff you could do with it, especially like even guys with like 1 HP left, like you don't care. Like if you had like a level 2 with 1 HP and you're afraid they're gonna burn it somehow with like blue, and there's a lot, or if you have a level 1 and you don't want Timekeeper to put it in there, you can just remove your own guy to be able to do the aggro and then do it. If you're gonna take the damage anyway, you might as well damage yourself. But yeah, definitely 4. It's too important. This is a card that I absolutely love. It's the Power Juice. In fact, if you don't have the 4 cherry bombs, this is the card I would say you should run instead of the 4th one. And I don't run this in my main deck, but like every single day I like just am like, I feel like I should, right? Like I don't know. I might change some stuff and keep it. In fact, I ran 2 of the baseball bat card, which does 2 damage to a level 1. 0 times has that card ever been helpful out of the many games I played. And nobody just plays once enough. Like I think in future sets, I can definitely see where that card comes because a lot of decks get good level 1s with 2 HP that do effects. But for set 1 meta, honestly, I'm just gonna run 2 of this. What this card does is you pay 1 to place all the HP of one of your cookies besides 1, and then it gains 2 attack. There's so many cards that this combos with that's just insane. Again, back to like our Peppercino, like if he's about to die and he has 1 or 2 HP left, which by the way, if it won't kill it, you're guaranteed to stay at 1. Like you could just play this on a Peppercino, and for 4, you're killing a boss monster with that 5 number. Let me go through here. Something that's really good you can do is with Devil and Molosov. That's just killing that, again, that magical 5. This game has the magical number. So if I like play this on my Molosov, I'm swinging for 2 for 5 damage. It's honestly insane. Red has so many good cards that are like not SRs or whatever, where like if you're trying to get in the game, I'd recommend it. Just because there's like the cheapest way, I would say this is the color, like green and red. And then last but not least, we're running our 4 traps. Sadly, this is the only trap we have. It's needed. Like it's so needed. In fact, like it sucks because like sometimes you won't see it and then you're like, I just don't have the advantage that other people have. But I mean, there's no condition for it. You're just tapping 1 to reduce something by 2, which is kind of nice. You don't have to like fulfill anything. Next set we get more traps, but for now, this is all we have. And in fact, I don't even think those traps are good. A lot of people don't even play them, but yeah, we just have those. And if I could recommend anything, that would be card wise. Let me grab these guys over here. Hang on 1 second. I have some fillers. If you are missing some of these, if you're missing the Rebel cookie, I can recommend, I wouldn't run this more as a 2 of, in fact, it'd probably be a 1 of. You could run Dinosaur as a replacement if you don't have your Rebels yet. It's a tap 4, they do 2 damage to 2 things. It does a really good job. I mean, it's just, essentially you're just double Rebeling. The only issue is he only has 1 health and Rebels 4. it's just a good substitute for now until you get rebels, but if you like only have 3, I would check that in. I would say cards that are also good. Believe it or not, this card is just tap 1 to give something +1, but this also comes into the situation where like espresso cookie, like if you just play this on your espresso, you're swinging for that magical 5. It's not as much like advantage as you would to other cards, but like if I could, there's a lot of games actually where I'm like, if I could just tap 1 and play something, I would be able to like win this turn or do something, and that's an issue that I have with red set 1, which is why like I'm more of a purple player. It's good. The only issue is you never really have hands, so it's like, am I really gonna waste this? But it definitely, honestly, a good card to tag in if you're missing some of your rares, especially like, I don't know, like again, the cherry bombs, like if you don't like them as much or you don't have everything, it's good. Or if you don't have some of the other rares, you could just, you know, tag 1 or 2 in. I have this card again, I run 2, but honestly, if you're just doing budget, I would do up to 4. It's pretty good. Something that's really cool, especially if you're running this version of the deck, the spicy power juice. Since your guys are going to be at 1 health and you're going to be super aggro, why not run another trap? In fact, because traps are not a big red thing, this one's pay 2 to select something on your opponent's board and it receives 1 damage. Why that's really kind of funny is like if you have, I don't know, let me like pull something out. I like it because how this game works. So like if your opponent is swinging at you, and they only have 1 HP left, how this game works is like your attacks fizzle. So if they're like only have 1 HP because you like super aggroed them and they do it, they're tapping 4 to swing at you, and then you only have to tap 2 to kill it. So not only are you just killing something on their turn, which is crazy, you just made them waste an entire turn in order to do it. I would recommend this if you feel like you're getting like too aggroed and you want to run it. I'm on and off about it. Honestly, it depends what your locals is too, because there's like a lot of cards where it's like, you know, like this could be really good, but if everybody's playing a certain color or like purple and they're gonna like sack their guys anywhere, blue and bounce. But I could recommend cards I'm actually gonna tell you to stay away from that I see. I see way too many red players playing the stage. Don't run it. Don't run this or the other stage. It's just bad. Like I get it. I get the mindset that like I could tap this, they give something +1, and then my 4 now swings for 5 or whatever. But the issue is like when you had 2 mana, you just wasted your 2 mana turn to play this, and then your next turn you're just behind because you have to play 1. So like, yes, you could play 2 to play this, then play a Mollisaw, and then you could use it to tap for like 4. But you could just also just attack, right? Instead of playing 2 for this, you could just attack on that turn, and then the next turn you just save the mana and play something else. Do not play stage. Everybody loves this, and I don't understand. In fact, if you look at all the topping decks that didn't create, nobody ran it. Like I think it's just one of those things where it sounds good on paper, but it's really not. Ninja, I see people run Ninja just because I think they see burn and it's good. If they had this thing with, if they had 3 HP, I think it would be way better. But because it's 2, it's just not worth it. Again, you're tapping 2 to do 2, and you can pay 1 to do 1, but you could just, again, run Devil Cookie or Mollisaw, and you just do a better job at it. And then the last card I see people run a lot of, and it does top. So like, I might be the odd one on this one. I don't like Cactus Bat, right? Again, future set's really good. Set 1, the only level 1s people play have like 4 HP, or they have 3, or they just don't play 1s, which I've noticed a lot of people are afraid of it just because there's so much counters and everybody runs like the cherry cookies and stuff. I don't like this card. Never once has it come in handy. The only time it's nice is like if I have 1 extra, I can like play it and then deal 2, and then next turn I only have to like play Rebel Cookie to burn the rest of the guy. But even then it's like, I could just, I don't know. It's not worth it. And then if I have to like not tap on red, you're kind of just tapping out every turn, right? Like you don't want to just hold back in case, because like if I held this in my hands and I was like, oh, I'll keep it because I'll use it, and then they ended up just like passing turn, which happens a lot actually. I just wasted a turn when I could have been more aggro. But anyway, yeah, that's the red budget deck. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to comment on it. And then we also have a Discord you can join as well. I plan on making it pretty cookie based, so I'd love to see you guys there. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned because I have 4 more. I'm gonna try to do one for every color that I can. And then in the future, I will do more of actual like other videos like top 10s and whatever. But for now, I just want to get these videos out just to help new players on week 1, week 2 that they're playing, so we can get this game going and get people into it. But anyway, everyone have a great night, and I'll see you later. Bye.